It will be tough, but I think I'll get it done.
When I was running my first ultramarathon, I remember thinking so many times that I will never ever do this again.
And now I'm out here on a long run training for my 7th ultramarathon. And to be honest, as a coach in physio, I would not say that it's super healthy to run these super long distances. But the reason I keep coming back to them is because of the mental benefits that I, after these races, can carry into my everyday life. So here are 7 things that running ultramarathons taught me about life. When I was going to run my first ultra, it was just a 50k, and I thought that I probably could do it pretty easy. So to be honest, I did not prepare all that much except my regular training. And it went pretty good, but my nutrition strategy was really bad. I tested a new sports drink that I hadn't tested before that caused me to have extreme stomach pain for the last 2 hours. And this is just one example of where you will have to pay a really high price for lack of preparation when it comes to ultramarathon running. Of course, doing what I'm doing right now, being out here running, putting in the training job, is the biggest part of your preparation. But the extreme nature of these really long races amplifies everything. So if it's a small detail that you haven't focused on in your preparation, it will come back and haunt you during the run. And that mindset that the key to success in anything you do lies in the willingness to put in an effort in the preparation phase has really helped me a lot in everything that I do in life. It doesn't matter if it's going to a meeting or filming a video or whatever. The key to succeeding at what you do is to put in the hard job in the preparation. And one thing that is super important when it comes to ultramarathons is to have your gear dialed down. That's why I'm really happy to present the shoe brand I'm wearing today, called Mount2Coast, as sponsor of this video. Because after trying a lot of different shoes, these R1s from Mount2Coast are my favorite shoes when it comes to running at these a bit slower paces that I run on during long runs and ultras. And that is no coincidence, because Mount2Coast is actually the first running shoe brand that makes running shoes specifically designed for running ultra marathons. They have for sure done their preparation work before launching these shoes. They have a whole dedicated research lab where they developed some new technologies that really makes a difference in the long run. Like the Zero Sag, that is a midsole insert that provides great cushioning that lasts for running really long distances, where many other shoes just get more and more compressed. They also have a new approach to lacing that really comes in handy when running long distances, because your feet tend to swell over time, and this tuned fit lacing system that is split into 2 sections allows you to adjust the fit of the forefoot and the upper part separately. So you can easily adjust to the optimal fit during your run. These are cool things, but the main reason that I've been using these shoes for the last couple of months is that they're just super comfortable. And if it's one thing that matters when running ultras, it's having gear that's comfortable and don't start causing problems over time. So a huge thanks to Mount2Coast for creating these great shoes for us runners and for supporting my channel. When I was a young and ambitious orienteering runner, I struggled a lot with running related injuries, and it seemed impossible for me to run more than 50 kilometers per week without getting injured. And for the longest time, I truly believed that it was. And the thought that I 10 years later would be able to run an extreme 100 kilometer ultra marathon and be able to run the days after without a severe injury, I would for sure thought that that was impossible. But the thing is that our minds can really work against ourselves at times, because it's easy to say to yourself that something is impossible just because you can't see the path there, and that it feels so far off from where you are now. But starting to run longer ultras and proving to myself that I, after hard work and great preparation, actually could achieve things that I once thought was impossible, have given me the confidence to start believe and work towards other seemingly impossible dreams I've had. Like, for example, growing a YouTube channel to over 100,000 subscribers and being able to make a living from trying to inspire others to be physically active. So I truly believe that proving to yourself that you can do something seemingly impossible in one area of your life also can give you the self-confidence to go after and help you achieve other things you once thought was impossible. This winter I ran a 50-kilometer ultramarathon that turned out way harder than the distance suggests, because big parts of the course was off-trail in extremely deep snow. At parts it was so slow that I wondered if I'm ever going to finish that race. But the one thing that helped me through those parts was the simple mindset of just focusing on keep moving forwards, one step at a time. And this simple mindset I found helped me a lot in my everyday life. When life gets stressful, tough, and I feel down for different reasons, it really helps just focusing on keep moving forwards, taking the small steps, doing what I know I need to do to hopefully get to a better place. During most of the ultramarathons I run, there come parts where everything feels bad, things hurt, I'm tired, and I can't see how I'm going to finish the thing. But the thing that most ultramarathoners I've talked to have said is that running these kind of races is sort of an emotional roller coaster, where you will have times where you feel really low, but somehow you often a couple of hours later can feel on top of the world again. A prime example of this was when I made a film about people running a 24-hour race in a basement here in Norway. With 4 hours until finish, most people seem to be struggling to keep moving forwards. But somehow, as the last hour approached, most runners suddenly started running faster and faster, smiled and looked so strong. I think the runners would have had a hard time understanding that they would run so fast and feel so good just a couple of hours earlier. And remembering that things can and most probably will turn around when you feel really down for different reasons can be really comforting. I made a huge mistake the first time I ran a 100-kilometer race. Starting in the middle of the night alongside some really experienced and good ultra runners, I for some reason went out in the lead from the start. And for the first brutal part of the race, climbing some extreme mountains, I kept a third place. And this came back to bite me later on, because of course I had started out way over my ability. And this was a big learning experience for me. Of course I should have ran my own race, finding a sustainable pace for myself right from the start, and not just look at what everybody else was doing and try to stay in front. And this is for sure something I try to apply in my everyday life, to not compare myself to everybody else and instead focus on what I can do to achieve the things I want and live true to my values in my own life. This is especially hard nowadays with social media, where it's so easy to compare to everybody else, see what they're doing and think that you're missing out and feeling behind in different ways. So I find it really helpful to focus on running my own race in my everyday life, doing the things that I believe in and not what I see everybody else doing or getting stressed by what others are achieving. That's not my race, that's not my business. I can only focus on doing the things I want to do and take ownership over my own decisions. And if you focus on that, you tend to end up where you want to be. When this YouTube channel reached 100,000 subscribers, I wanted to celebrate by running 100 kilometers, carrying this YouTube Play Button award that you get after passing that milestone. It might sound like a weird thing to do, but I just thought it would be so cool running a distance I once thought was impossible for me, with an award that I once thought was impossible for me to get. And when running this ultra distance and all other ultras I have run, the number one thing getting me through it is splitting it into smaller goals. Getting through the next 10 kilometers, getting to the next aid station, getting up that hill, and so on. And sooner than you know it, you have achieved a really big goal by setting up small goals on your way and collecting smaller wins as you go. And this is such a super hack in life. It was the same approach I had to getting this YouTube channel to 100,000 subscribers. I started off with a goal to get 100 subscribers, which took me almost a year. And then I set up a new goal to get to 500 subscribers, and so on. Setting up smaller goals on your way towards your big goal can also give you a great feeling of progress and accomplishment that makes the journey a lot more fun. So running ultras is hard. It can be really hard, both mentally and physically. which I guess is the reason most people don't do it, or maybe they're just smarter than me and simply don't need it. But what I found is that getting through really hard things like this, being in so much pain and getting through it, becomes sort of like a superpower in your everyday life. It gives me a self-belief that I can handle tough situations and sort of raises my threshold of what I can endure and still stay positive. It's like you build a mental toughness from doing these kind of things. And I think that this, and remembering in a really powerful way all of these different other things that I have talked about, is why I seem to come back to running long distances. If you're going to run an ultra yourself, I highly recommend you to check out the Mount to Coast R1s. There's a link in the description, and a huge thanks for creating these great shoes for us ultra runners and for supporting my channel.